We're up and running and recording on this one. Okay, and we'll get the other one going. Now I just need to make some slight changes to that so it actually does work. Here we are. Yeah, it should work now. So it's there. It's running. And it should work. It's not letting me record on the other computer. Stream seems to have got stronger on its security permissions. Yeah, it's working. Okay. Yes, we're ready. Okay, so welcome to the soul contract reading questions and answers. Pretty much anything goes here, depending on what your level of interest is in the work. I'm Nicolas David Ngan of the Centre for Conscious Ascension, and we'll just sort of have a little intro for the guys who are going to hit this code on YouTube, and we can be a bit more relaxed. So the purpose of the webinar is to answer any burning questions you have about the book and the spiritual philosophy from Your Soul Contract Decoded. And then it's actually 10 years since I wrote that. Can't believe it's gone past. It's really quick. And we can go to any aspect of the book or the work. So it can help you transform your lives and the lives of others that you're with. And we can answer any questions about the upcoming training. So I know some of you are here for that as well, to ask questions about that. So I'd like to hear, why are you here? Because then that will help me shape the way we flow with the webinar. So this is your webinar. So if you tell me what you need and ask the questions that you want to ask, then you'll probably get what you need out of this. So if you want to ask a question, you can just give me a big wave and then ask the question if you're on the video or if you're on the chat. Guys in the, hi Rachel. If you want to join us on the video, only if you want to, just click on being promoted to being a panelist, or you can just speak from the attendee room, but you can't turn your video on, or you guys can put it in the chat if you're not on video. But it's nicer to connect with you in person. Okay. All right. So I'm here to help you guys get on with your missions. That's my mission. My mission is to help your mission. That's my soul contract. And do whatever it takes within reason to help you get there. I've been very lucky with the breaks I've had, or manifested, to get to where I am now in terms of being able to teach this work and share it in the world. And I want to help you get on with whatever your mission is, and help others potentially if you're interested in training people in this work, or just want to know about the book. So whatever you're drawn to. I am on the edge of London, Greater London, in England. So southwest of London, that's where I am. So I'd like to hear where you guys are, what brought you here, what you need from this, and then we can get into detailed questions after that. So who would like to go first? There's some familiar faces here. So make the most of the time. So there's only a few of you, so you can go for it. Donna, I'm very hard to get hold of normally. So
good to see all these beautiful faces this morning. I'm here to learn, to try to learn some new tools that can support my mission as an energy healer. And, I first off, the biggest question I had was, why did the universe bring me to this now moment, to where I am here before you, and has drawn me to you? Okay. That's like, okay, I know I'm stepping up a level. There's something that you have to offer that will support my mission. And I get that. And that's like, it's okay. I know I'm to be here, and I'm open to receiving and open to learning, how I can incorporate the knowledge and these tools that you have been utilizing and developing in my mission.
okay.
So that's kind of where I'm at.
Oh yeah, we can answer that once we answer the intros. Donna, yep. Okay, if you could just go on mute, Donna, because we're getting the background noise. Same with all you guys. Yeah. Yeah, I've still got some background noise from somebody. I think it was, yeah, that's sorted out. Okay. Okay, thank you, Donna. Who wants to go next? We're setting intention here, so you ask and you shall receive. If you stay silent, you won't get what you need. Okay. So, Kathy.
Okay, good morning, everybody. My name is Kathy, and I am from the United States. I live in upstate New York. This is my 5th webinar. I was also on yesterday's, and I have already had a soul contract reading done. I did that in December, and I'm still working through it. It's very intense. It's very spot on to the point of being scary. It really does outline a lot of things that we need to work on with ourselves. So I am joining this webinar today, but I'm definitely going to join the class in March.
Okay.
And I'm hoping to join the healing session that starts next week. I've shown a couple of people my charts, and they're also very interested. The way it breaks all the information down, it's probably nothing that I didn't already know, but to see it spelled out in front of me to the point that it is, it's really, I was upset. So it took me a while to work through it, but I do have questions about the birth chart. And I think what I'd like to do is maybe not ask them right now, maybe as we work our way through today's webinar, there would be a more appropriate time. But I would encourage everybody to have this done. It's quite phenomenal.
Yeah, there'll be a bit of time later to ask questions like that. Thanks, Kathy. We look forward to seeing you on the training in March. So, okay, who's next? Don't be shy. Time is ticking. Life is moving by, guys. Okay, Colleen. Yeah, Colleen, go on.
I'm like Donna. I just want to learn some more. I did my own.
Can you come closer to the computer because you're a bit faint?
I did my own chart, and then I did one online and got the information yesterday. And just want to learn more about it. Learn more about how to change things in my life to make my life better. So I'm just here to learn.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Colleen. All right, who's next? Beata? You're not shy. You're just still on mute. Hang on.
Oh yeah, managed to click on the
there you go.
microphone.
Can hear you now.
Hello. Good evening, and it's almost evening here. As you can see, I'm returning to the training I did before, and I have been refreshing it by doing readings for my friends.
Yeah.
But I don't understand what's holding me back. I think there's a bit of a scare. So maybe by having more, seeing what questions they come up, maybe if you are going to be willing to do like an example of how you do a reading still, you could like to use my example. I don't know if that's what you might do. But I have a few questions, but generally speaking, I've been preparing since the first time we spoken, and I haven't gone like live. I've been just doing it like hiding, from, and I just, so I'm hoping to get more confident by not distrusting myself. And I don't really know, because I know that you said everyone says it's very precise. So I'm not sure if I'm worrying about that I'm going to make a mistake. Is it possible to make a mistake, really? Because it's very straightforward. You said it was all about putting especially English, anybody's with English name, putting it through, that, do the calculation, and it should be all correct, right? So I'm hoping to get sort of a clarification on, you know, any nuances, or I'm not even talking about converting, you know, sounds from different languages. I'm just getting more confident in
All right, we'll cover that
generally.
once. We'll answer those questions
Mhm,
once we've had everyone introduce themselves. So,
mhm.
okay.
Thank you.
All right, who's next? You're brave showing
Nancy.
Hi.
Nancy. I knew Nancy was going to talk.
Yeah, I'll go. Well, I put my camera back on. So I have done my soul contract reading, and I have questions ranging from, you know, the bigger picture when we use the words awakening, enlightenment, ascension. What do we mean by those? And then very detailed questions on, you know, some of the items like what is full soul consciousness? You know, how is the term creativity really being used as compared to maybe the way that we think of creativity? So it ranges from a high level understanding down to a specific terminology as you do your soul contract and get your specifics. And then also I'm very interested in understanding more about the mother letters. What do those really mean? Are those really the three initial sounds of the divine? And, you know, how to go deeper into such things as the tree of life and the symbols, as well as some of the star signs. So at a high level, it's easy to kind of go through and get the basics, look up the numbers, but the deeper meaning behind some of this is what I'm kind of looking for.
Okay. Yeah, well, we'll cover some of that in the time we've got. So, all right. Pat, do you want to say hello?
Okay,
Showing
thank
yourself?
you.
Right, I've got another man. I'm not the only token man here, so I need some help.
Basically here, I seem to connect with the thought that I need to heal, so it provides better insight to heal others. And most certainly am impressed and with your insightful work. And so I just saw this opportunity to be a part of this today and be open and receptive to your strategies, thoughts, ideas, insights, not necessarily regarding me, but just in general. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? If any of you guys and the attendees who want to introduce yourselves, you can just put it in the chat, and I will read it out if you like, or you can just switch your sound on. It's up to you. It'll be nice to know what you actually need, because then I can do my best to meet your needs. Yeah. Montserrat, you've asked me a question about you asked me a question about Catalan. What you need is called the name assistance service. Okay. And that is on the website. If you look under your soul contract decoded, the book section, you'll find this name assistance service. You need someone to actually translate your name to the correct written English as it's pronounced, because the system translates from Hebrew, from written English as it's pronounced to Hebrew. So you have to go from Catalan to written English as it's pronounced, then to the Hebrew to get that correct. Okay. Okay, so let's have a look. So, okay. All right, anyone else want to introduce themselves before I get into this? Up to you. You switch your videos on and chat to me if you're in the panelist room, otherwise, or just message me on the chat, or I'll get into it. Yeah, and just go as far as you feel comfortable with, guys. No pressure. No messages on chat. Okay, we will proceed then. Okay. So, share the screen. Okay. So, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the basics of how it works for people who newbies who may not have come across this before, who may watch this later. Okay, so basically, in order to come to Earth, I'll talk about this briefly, and I'm going to get into the sample chart, and I'll get into all your questions as much as I can in the time we've got. So basically, in order to come to Earth, you have to pass through this gateway of consciousness. You have to take on a mantle of an ego construct, personality ego construct. It will be your filter for your soul to experience this reality in a very specific way. And you look at all your past lives, and you, at a soul level, and then you construct a set of energies called the soul contract, a set of frequencies which will be embodied in your birth certificate name, that through, by the law of attraction, that's programmed into you, it will actually manifest every moment of this life for you. And we decode it using a Star of David here, those frequencies, and we convert the frequencies in whatever language you use into the sounds of ancient Hebrew. We use 22 ancient Hebrew letters. And so to formulate a life on Earth, where you have to look at these two large triangles, a physical one and a spiritual one. And the reason Kathy's chart is so accurate is because these 22 frequencies of ancient Hebrew come out of the sound and movement of Great Spirit, God, Source, whatever you want to call the divine intelligence that created this universe, that is this universe, which is why it's so accurate, and which is why it's quite different to conventional numerology, which assigns numbers to letters of the Roman alphabet. This is pure frequency, unfiltered. Okay, this is not dampened down by going through human egos. It's purely from source, which is why it's extremely powerful. So what happens is that it creates your earth suit, that's what I call it, and your personality ego construct for you as a soul to inhabit, to have a very specific experience on Earth. And you are brand new each lifetime as a personality, even though you may have had thousands of past lives here and lots of other planets. You're brand new each lifetime. So the physical world's very important initially. So you need to learn how to walk and talk, get conditional responses, get up and running in life, careers, relationships. And between the ages of 30, that's the first 5 cycles of 7 years. And between 35 and 42, the 6th cycle, what happens there is that the spiritual triangle comes online. So how many of you guys have been through the spiritual awakening, midlife crisis, where you question everything and you search for real purpose? So put your hand up. Yeah. Okay, and this can happen between 35 and 42, or younger, or a little bit older, depending on where you are in your evolution. And so what happens is that the spiritual triangle becomes more important, and we question everything. I was 37 and I was in my corporate glass box in the city in London. And I realized over a few weeks that I can't do this anymore. I've got to actually leave this job, a very good job, fascinating job in the satellite industry, and do what I'm doing now. And that was about, how long ago was that? 25 years ago, I left the corporate world, and I'm a lot happier for it. So the spiritual mission comes online, where we question everything, and our values change radically. We leave relationships, we move house, change partners, move countries often. And the spiritual mission is going to be built upon the foundation of this physical triangle. And within each triangle is these 3 aspects. We have karma, or physical karma, we have talents and goals. And basically the karmic pattern that you have here, by the law of opposites, creates everything that you don't want in your life. As you guys have noticed, creates all the hard stuff. Okay, you get everything you don't want, and by turning into that karma, into the shadow patterns of that karma, and bringing consciousness to it and transmuting it, and we use a process called divine healing to do that, we can claim our gifts of service. When we claim those gifts of service, layer by layer, they become a positive power for us to deliver that to the world. Okay, so basically our karma is our main training as light workers so that we can actually help others. Okay, because you can avoid it as long as you want, but life won't progress. But by engaging with it, then we can transmute it. And what happens is our physical talents help us overcome our physical karma if it's a good match. If it's not, it just takes a bit longer. We need different relationships, energies imprinted on, overlaid on us, and different names within our, we may use a different, say, a married name to help us overcome the karma. The latent talents get stronger as we overcome the karma, and they help us get to our physical goals. It's what excites us about life, gets us out of bed in the morning. So, in spiritual karma, there's particular spiritual lessons to overcome to bring our spiritual gift and how we embody higher consciousness to share with others to help them grow. And that's overcome by activating our latent spiritual talents. And they move to help us overcome the spiritual goals here. And if we know what these are consciously are, which is what it gives us, you're going to make a lot more progress in this life than the average human being, vastly faster. And if you consciously work on all these 6, once you've worked out your soul contract reading from the book, Your Soul Contract Decoded, or we have an automated service now, a new one we launched in November called Soul Contract Reports. You can get that on yoursoulcontractreport.com, where it uses the same material as the book, but you just type the name in, and we send you back a chart within 7 days. A chart plus about up to 50 to 100 pages of interpretations if you want to know what's going on. Or you can have a live reading from me, or I still do them at the moment. If you consciously work on the 6 outer aspects, over time, this is percentage complete. If you consciously work on this with this body of work, it tells you in great detail, as Kathy was sharing, what the issue is, but it also gives you a lot of recommendations. Okay, we've got this really powerful challenge here. It also tells you how to work through it, which is the really important bit. If you consciously work on all these 6 here, then what will happen is that layer by layer, the soul destiny will start to be revealed. It's that hidden secret that we as light workers feel there's something special I'm here to do. And no one's telling me what it is. So that was my experience when I was younger. No one at school would tell me what I'm here to really do. I didn't think this idea of just getting a career, getting a job and having 2.4 kids and a house in New Zealand didn't really appeal to me. And so the true mission is revealed as you consciously and progressively work through 6 outer aspects. So it's a whole life's work here. Okay, and the idea of this work is to consciously align to the soul destiny by doing this work. And when you do that, life becomes much more fulfilling. Okay, people who don't do their work, which is 97% of the population, life's pretty miserable, as you've noticed, you guys. You've seen what that's like. So, Colleen, are you still there? She's gone.
Nope, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here.
Okay, do you want to be my guinea pig? I'm going to demonstrate your chart.
Okay.
You up for that? You can be a soul on YouTube.
Ruh-roh, yes.
Yep. Time to get on with it, isn't it? So let's do it. So.
Yep. That's what I'm here for.
I've just got to get my software up and running here. I'm going to stop sharing the screen because it'll be quicker for me to find the window, because screen sharing slows things down a lot. Hang on. Oh no, here it is. It's showing itself. Just get this. I'm going to
So you
sharing.
have access. You've got my chart.
No, I'm going to ask you for the details.
Oh, okay.
I just need to stop the screen so I can actually get this to do this. It'll go a lot quicker without screen sharing until I get running. Here it is. That's what I want. Just need to stop that. Okay, so I'm going to bring you up again. Okay, I'm just going to find you. Here it is. It's much faster without screen sharing. Okay. It'll show itself in a minute. So this is a cell contract software called cellcontractreader.com. For those of you who don't have access to it or aware of it, it saves you a lot of time and it makes it very accurate. The reading. So Colleen, what's your current name? I'm just trying to see it from Zoom here.
Colleen, Ann, A-N-N,
No, I'll just take your
and
current
then
name.
Bella.
Yeah. How do I pronounce your
Colleen,
surname?
right.
Belize, is it?
B-E-L. B-E-L-I-S-L-E. The S is silent.
Oh, there's another L there. Okay, all right, got it.
And then do you want my middle name?
Yeah, I need the name on the birth certificate. Was that Anne, was it?
Ann, A-N-N, correct.
Okay. So how do you say the surname?
Belle-Isle.
Belial. Okay. All right. We won't put your date of birth in there because it's a public video. You're happy for me to do this. Put today's date.
Yep.
Needs that. It won't do anything for us. Okay. And we will generate the chart. It's just generating it now. Okay. And the way it generates the chart is like this. It's converted your name into the equivalent Hebrew sounds. And then these Hebrew numbers, which are inherent within the Hebrew sounds, are extracted out of it. Numbers and letters are the same in Hebrew, same sound. Then we take these Hebrew letters and we start at physical karma. We allocate them around the Star of David in a clockwise spiral until we use them all up. Okay. And then we add the numbers up. So in physical karma, the total is 22. And because we have 22 letters, that has meaning. There are channelings from the soul of Moses that came through Frank Alpert, the founder of this work in the 80s, which tell us what it means. So with the 22, we have what's called a combination number. We have a frequency of a 22, which has specific meaning. Plus there's another frequency here. We simply go 2 plus 2 is 4, which is a single digit number. So we have the frequencies of a pure 22 and a pure 4, plus every blend in between, which is what you'll go through in a given lifetime. So you can be anywhere on here on a given day. In spiritual karma, the total is 35. It has no meaning because it's more than 22. So we go 3 plus 5 is 8. 8 plus nothing is another 8. So you get a double number. There's one frequency here you're here to work with, rather than multiple frequencies, than a whole range of frequencies. So some parts of your chart are more specific or rigid, these 8s, but the rest have a wider range of energies, okay? So we take these energies here, put them on the top half of the table, physical numbers, spiritual on the bottom half. We add them up to get the 71 and 26. 7 plus 1 is 8, 2 plus 6 is 8. Pop that in the middle, that's your soul destiny. And these symbols that Frank brought through enable me to connect with your energies. So this is a brief taster, Colleen. So what's the key question you have about your life? And I'll repeat what you said to me at the beginning, if that was the key thing, you're a very specific question.
Clarity of purpose. What's the clarity of my purpose?
Okay. You are here to dissolve the ego and connect back to source. Okay, that's the biggest, it's the toughest karmic pattern you can have. And you chose
Thanks a lot.
your soul believe you are strong enough to get through it. And to then bring blending the body, mind, and soul together in the circle of God and sharing it in the world. So you're here to bring source energies to share with others, because you're already here as a spiritual teacher, sharer of knowledge. So what have you been up to, Colleen, in this life?
Well, I'm a retired hospice home health nurse,
Yeah.
but that never like, because of the system, it never satisfied my spiritual needs. So
Yeah.
I've been searching for quite a long time.
Yeah. This is the nurse here. This is you using spiritual energies to serve others selflessly. That's why you're a nurse. Teachers, nurses, doctors always have this. Okay. But you're really here to open to God consciousness, overcome any denial of God, separation from source within you to serve others. And you're here to give people structure, spiritual structure, and give them and support them emotionally with a little spring. You're here to serve them with spiritual energy so they can basically know God. They can awaken. That's why you're here. You don't come here very often. Yeah, it's about grounding in society. You're here to move out of the head into the body. Okay. And to engage with society. How's that been going? Reaching out to people. How's that been from a young age?
Well, you know, lately with all the shutdowns, I've been pretty isolated.
Yeah. Okay. So you're here to reach out to people and build community. Yeah, it's another thing for you is to be in a community, to move out of isolation. Okay. And in a conscious community, and you're here to absorb spiritual knowledge, expand it, and teach it. Because the 3 is an internal canal. It's a library of great soul knowledge. It's about connecting with a body of spiritual knowledge within you that's been blocked by this little plug of unworthiness. This is saying there's an issue with your father. Tell me about your father.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was a controlling man, not very loving.
Yeah. Okay, so you're here to heal the wound with the father, but ultimately that wound with your father represents how you separated from Father God. So the sense and the ego of being abandoned by Father God, represented by your physical father, is the key thing to heal within you. And this will pull some plug of unworthiness out of this internal canal. Then what will start happening then is that deep soul knowledge will be communicated, shared, taught to the world. Okay, and you're here ultimately to take that out to the world, take this knowledge out to the world, connect, form clear emotional boundaries with the world and people, and visit them and share knowledge. That's the mission. How does that sound?
It's doable.
Yeah. So still some good stuff to be done here in life. Okay. So that's sort of a quick feel for the chart. Okay.
Yes,
All right.
thank you.
That help?
Oh, yeah.
So
Thank you.
So for those of you thinking of helping others with this work, basically what it does is it slices through all the ego illusion and defenses which keep people from finding the truth out. Okay. When I had my reading from Frank up in 1990, he put my entire life into context. All the disparate things that were happening made complete sense. And at that point, I decided I'm going to learn how to do this and bring this to England from Arizona and share it, which is what I've been doing for 30 odd years, and share it with the world and grow this and wake people up with it. So you can share this powerful tool, and it's a complete life changer for people, because suddenly the lights are on. They know why they're here, so they start aligning themselves to carry this mission out. Because there's no point doing anything else. Why would you want to do anything other than your mission? Because life is pretty unfulfilling initially, simply because we're not aligned with what's in our contract. Okay, so my life changed radically when I had mine, and most people's do. So if you're wanting to learn how to do this and share it, it's basically like a sacred transmission that awakens someone out of the illusion of their ego, and they become more conscious. And from that day forward, their life will be quite different, because they now know what's important and they know what to do about it. Okay. All right. So not so easy peasy, Pat. That's just the idea. But you got to do the work. Okay. So what happens with this is that you find out your spiritual map of life, which is say over here. Okay. and your ego took you over here. Okay. So what it does is it starts to align. You say, well, I need to be over here because I know this is not working. It's okay, Pat, that was funny. I know this is not working, but I have no idea what to do about it. So sharing this says, it's over here. The green fields are over here. So you start to align with that. And if you do self-healing work, well, we have divine healing, for example, that'll get you there a lot quicker. And the soul contract shows you how to get aligned. So after all, you sort of start doing this. I'm going to change color here, the way it works. Initially, you say, well, I know I need to be over here following what we call a spiritual signature, the flow of spirit. And if you work on yourself consciously over time with self-healing, you gradually converge on this, what this contract's about. And once you get to this sort of stage, life is really flowing. It's very much more fulfilling. There's nothing else you'd rather be doing. Whereas 97% of the population have no idea why they're here, never find out. So life's over here, and it's pretty unpleasant because of the karma. People are carrying their karma around and don't get through a lot of it, and they come back and do it again. So this work, in sharing this work, this enables others to bring their missions online. Okay, because God sends millions of light workers. We're about 2 or 3% of the population, but only very few that come online because they don't get to this. They're going around driving in the dark, whereas we're turning the lights on here and we are switching on the spiritual sat nav, which is this. It's saying it's over here. Definitely not over here. Okay. How's that feel, Colin, to have a better idea of what you're here to do? You probably had some pieces of it.
Well,
this is real specific now.
Well, it's scary because my confidence isn't there, my self-esteem isn't there, but I will be doing the healing thing in the June one, so I'm looking forward to taking the higher road.
Yeah, you probably tried everything else, so nothing to lose. It might get better.
Yeah, on the spiritual path that I've been on, I get real involved in one thing and then it fizzles out, and then I get involved in another thing, and then I lose interest in it. So I'm really focused in on doing a big leap here, which I think obviously this is why I'm on this webinar with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So has that helped?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So
Thank you.
we'll take questions now. Okay, you guys, we'll get through as many as we can. So now it's open to whatever questions you feel drawn to ask me, and we can do our best.
I do.
Colin, you got another question? Go on.
Yeah. The dominant vibration. I'm not sure what that means. I mean,
Okay.
that's the number that shows most.
Yeah. So dominant vibration in this case is where you have 4 or more of the same number in a chart. And in your case, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 8. So 6 8s. So an 8 basically is your dominant vibration. You can have, doesn't matter if you have one or not. You can have more than one. Basically, there's a channeling from God from the book. You've got the book, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah. So you look up the word, which is a channel this from God. And it's a reminder of why you came to Earth. So what you want to do is read that out loud to yourself. And most people cry because it's a reminder of why they were here. Okay. Why they've come. It's very deep. So we normally read that out at the end of a reading to people. So because they can't, not much anything else afterwards. They say, oh my God, that's so true. Yeah. Because we forget why we came. You see, it's normal. Okay, people.
David, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. You said that the dominant vibration, you find where the channeling from God to remind you where you came, why you came to Earth. Where do you find that?
It's in the book under the word. There's 22 of them, and you read them out. If you've got more than one, you read them out in ascending order. It tells the story of why you came to Earth in the first place. It's a bit biblical the way it's written, It's very important information because it's like, it's a full awakening of why you were born.
So you would look in the book under the number 8 in the
Yeah.
case of the example.
Yeah, you look under where 8 is and you read it out. Okay. That's what we would do.
Okay.
I can read Collins out now from the book. So, and I want you to guys to watch how Colin responds to this and show you how strong this is. I've just got to find it. Okay, guys, if you got the book, it's on page 172 in the book.
Oh,
And
172.
Vibration of 8 is on page 175. I'll read it out. So close your eyes, Colin. I want you to breathe this in. This is channeling from God, your sponsor. I will introduce you to the elemental spirits of nature who are also ready and willing to help you achieve either your eventual complete reunion with me or your complete separation from me. I have given you that freedom of choice. These elementals can be invoked by you for good or harm as you choose. Only remember you are now under the law of karma, and whatever you do unto others will come back to you multiplied. It is one of my irrevocable laws. Okay. How does that feel? You have to turn your microphone on.
It brings up my Catholic upbringing,
Yeah. Yeah, it was 100.
which I'm not.
Gone.
Yeah, I'm not involved with that anymore, but it sparks that up a little bit.
Yeah, that already trigger it when all that religious stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Montserrat, that was on page 175, dominant vibration of 7.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we'll take one. I know you guys got tons of questions. We'll take one question each and go around because otherwise it's not fair on everybody. So who wants to ask the next question? Someone new. Okay, we had how do you say that? Trilokana? Do you want to turn the microphone on so we can talk? Yeah. I'm frozen there a bit.
Yes, hello.
Hi. So you had a question? Do you want to just read the question out to everybody?
Yeah. Yes, I would like to know what's a soul destiny 77 means.
Have you got the book? Yes.
Sorry?
Leave the microphone on so we can talk. So have you
Yes.
generated your chart from the book? I just want to understand how much you understand about what we're doing.
No, I don't have the book yet.
Okay, so did someone do your chart for you? Make your chart?
I generated my chart from the website.
Okay, so you haven't read the book. Okay, let me find it for you then.
No, I haven't read.
Yeah, okay, because the book will give you all the detail of it. Hang on. I need to look up 7 here in the book. So I'll give you the correct one. Here it is. Those guys have got the book. It's a page 130. 145. So you're here to allow the unifying energies of God to come through your heart. 7's all about opening the heart. And healing, in order to do that, you need to heal a heart wound that occurred in childhood. So that people around you are unified in groups and in themselves. You're here to bring people together as you open your heart. You're here as a networker to facilitate and synergize people into greater whole, to a greater group, a more powerful group to create change in the world. That's why you're here.
Okay, thank you.
How's that sound? Okay. All right.
That
Next
sounds
question. Oh, you just stay there. Good to see you. Connect with people. Donna.
So what happens on your reading if you have no specific dominant number, that there's like 4 of them that are the same? I had it's actually called a soul blueprint reading. And I got 10, 10, 1, 1, 9, 9, and 8, 8. I mean, my soul destiny is an 8, 8. But in looking at the numbers like you were looking at to see which one was the dominant, how do I identify the dominant? Because in my chart, it didn't show that category like you showed where things were broken down.
Not everyone has a dominant vibration. It's only if you have 4 or more the same number anywhere in the chart. So it doesn't matter if you don't have one, just that you've got a wider range of energies. So if someone has a dominant vibration, it means that it's a theme they want to follow. So don't feel you've missed out, Donna. You've just got more flexibility in what you can do. Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right. Next question. Kathy, you had some questions. You have to unmute.
Yes, my question is on the reading I had done, I did it on my birth certificate name, which
Yep.
was Catherine M. Haney. I
Yep.
also went by Kathy Haney, and then I got married and I was Catherine M. Schultes, but I go by Kathy Schultes. Would I
Yes.
do a chart on all 4 names?
You can only do a chart. The book is only designed for birth certificate charts.
Right.
Okay. So you can think of your birth certificate name as like the cake of your life. It has 7 different aspects to it, which create your reality.
Okay.
When you use all the other different names, like different versions of your name or married names, they're like layers of icing on the cake that infuse into the cake to change it and help it grow in different ways. But the book is not designed to do that. That requires the level 2 training to understand how overlays work. It's another level of complexity.
Okay.
So if you generate a chart from the book on your married name, it's not going to be accurate because it works completely differently. Okay.
Then I guess I'll wait and I'll see you in July.
Yeah. So you have to learn that. It's another level, it's a quantum leap in understanding of the work.
Okay. Thank you.
The level 1 will give you a means of understanding a birth chart and to understand the difference between all the numbers without having to look at the book, because
There's plenty to work on.
tons to work on. You get activated into the work. We spend 3 days activating you with the 22 numbers by using charts of your fellow classmates. They will describe the direct subjective experience of what goes on, and you'll never forget that, because often it's quite painful or very dramatic sometimes. And then we do the last 2 days how to hold space to deliver the reading. Okay, and you'll be amazed at how much you actually know from that, because you become the work.
Okay.
So basically, you guys have been reading the book, a lot of you. It's not about more study. It's nothing to do with study. It's about activation and becoming. It's experiential training. So you become it. And
Activation and becoming. Okay.
And you deliver the work. You're amazed at what you actually comes out your mouth. And what you're actually doing is that you're channeling a whole team within the structure to awaken someone wherever they are.
Okay.
So you spend some time integrating that and practicing. And at level 2, we take that knowledge, that activation, and then we take to another level. We show you what happens when all the numbers of the different aspects interact with other people. And that's where it's really interesting, because it explains how why relationships do what they do, and there's nothing you can do about it. Stuff just happens. Why the stuff happens. So it's a big difference between level 1 and 2, just so you understand that.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right. And the book is based upon the level 1 manual. Okay. All right. New person. Next question. Who wants to ask another question? Beata, you had some questions. Or you've had one already, Nancy, so we'll get round to you again.
Okay.
Yeah, I had questions, but they were more like when I was asking myself questions regarding how do I not yet understand this work that seems to be not coming along. I don't know, I'm hesitating. So it could be something to do with what's in my, birth chart that's not worked through. So I was thinking that maybe you would be happy to do me a guinea pig reading, but if not, if it's not enough time, then I just.
Time's a bit of an issue.
Sorry.
Time's a bit of an issue here. So
Mm.
let me.
Because maybe something I don't understand here, or maybe I'm worrying that, because as you say, people, I haven't been doing much reading now. I used to do some time ago. And if people will question, oh, so can't you do me a reading on a, married name? I would still probably have to focus on saying, because I'm not trained, but it's mainly that it's really the most important part is your birth reading, isn't it? From birth name.
Yeah, well, you can only give a reading based upon what you've got.
Yes,
And
yes.
to
And
get
it's still the
confident-
most important part, or is there? That's what I'm trying to say, because, whilst you're not yet trained in anything else, it doesn't invalidate anything from your birth certificate name derived chart.
Okay, so I'm going to put up your chart here.
I'm just trying to understand, because if people say, oh, well, maybe I prefer to what's going on in my current name, but I think if you could explain how important it is to, am I thinking that I'm missing out by not having that training, or I'm having a full cake to sell and I'm like not able to do it?
Well, you start off with what you've got. You're trained with level 1.
Absolutely, yes.
So you just get birth chart readings, okay?
Mhm.
And that's what you're qualified to deliver, okay?
Mhm. Yeah.
You can't comment on married names because you're not trained in it. So there's no point. Okay. So a birth chart is a good place to start. Okay. And then if you feel drawn, learn how to do level 2, then you get taught how to deliver these deliver those readings. I'm having trouble.
It's just I'm trying to, is it maybe my own question? When people would be interested, obviously I'll have to send them to someone who did, but it doesn't, that's what I'm trying to understand. How important is really the birth chart without, there's no undermining really of not being able to do the reading of overlays.
It's the most important chart
It's
of
the
all.
most important, yeah, that's what I wanted to double check.
It's the most important chart of all, because without a grasp of that, then the foundation of who someone is missing. Okay, it's missing.
Okay. So this is why it gives me more confidence that even if people would be interested in having more reading done, even though I have to send them away, it's still very important to have the main reading done, because that's your foundation, as you say.
Yeah. Well, I think what you can say to them, at some stage consider training in level 2. You say, I'm going to train sometime, then I can then what I can do is I can then give you a reading on your married name or whatever it is.
Yeah. I'm kind of more kind of trying to focus on how important is the soul contract reading based on your birth name. And as you say, this is the most important.
The birth name is most important, because if the client doesn't understand that, the rest doesn't matter what else you say about anything else.
Okay.
The reason why you have trouble learning this is because you've got falls in your current name, and all for physical karma, and it means you have trouble absorbing new knowledge. So the way you get around this is you just got to practice, and it will go in and stick eventually. Okay.
Oh, I see. So it's not in my birth name, it's in the current one. Okay, and it's in the karma. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
You just need to practice lots and deliver lots of readings. Okay, because it's a transmission, and the more you practice, the transmission comes through you, the more you embody it. Okay. Starting the work is not enough. You actually got to deliver it and become it. So just deliver lots of readings, and you'll gradually become more confident as well in the process. That's part of the reason you having it affects your confidence. You just got to learn to trust yourself and take some risks, Beata, and gradually your confidence will build. I had one of these. It took me ages to get up and running with this, but I did eventually. So you got to persist, and the main thing is to deliver readings, really. So.
But isn't it 4-4 is to do with replication of abundance or something like
Yes,
that?
but it's in karma, so you're learning to do that, which is so
Oh.
you have trouble. It's the challenge of absorbing the knowledge.
Mhm. Oh, I
Okay.
see. Okay.
That's the reason. Okay. Nancy, you had a question.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Could you explain how the star signs and the symbols come into play?
The star signs are basically integral part of the system. Okay. And they are in what we call double numbers. The star signs are integral with that. And so with astrology in the system, we look at it as overcoming the limitations of the sign and moving to the positive aspects of it. Okay, and when someone works through a specific number that's linked to a specific star sign, then they get the positive astrological configuration from that sign. Okay, and the symbols were channeled by Frank because they're like portals. And when you generate a chart for a specific person, you're actually just not looking at a graphic, you're feeling their energy coming through the star data. That's what I was doing with Colleen. I was just feeling the energy so I could say what I said. And it was pretty accurate, wasn't it, Colleen? Yeah, so I'm feeling her soul energy. And the chart holds that energy. It is Colleen in the chart. It's not just data. So symbols are a means because it appeals to the right brain. And so it talks to us as a practitioner, and then we attune and feel the client's soul energy. So it's a very powerful way of delivering a reading. It's not a thought process. I'm not remembering anything about the interpretations. It's Colleen's soul talking to me. That's what we teach you to do in the training, how to connect with the energy and flow with it. It's a very right brain feminine process, the way you deliver a reading. It's not about studying and remembering anything, actually, which is a bit of a surprise, especially you guys who've got 11-2s who studied the book fastidiously. You know, everyone gets a shock thinking, you don't want me to remember anymore. They think I'm going to teach you more to remember. I said, no, I'm not going to teach you anything to remember. We're going to activate you so you become it. Because experiential body learning is the most powerful way you become the work. So Beata, you need to become it by practicing it. And then you'll be it, and you won't have to remember a thing. Does that help, Nancy?
And so that's through the symbols itself are the transmission of
That
the
is-
energies, which is the same as the text words that are behind it. so
Yeah,
to
so you
speak.
feel someone more precisely just by looking at the symbols. You don't need any words, it's all in the energy.
Okay. Thank you.
And it'll talk to you in the moment about where that client is in that moment. Okay, so it's alive, the way it works. Okay,
Okay, thank you.
all right. All right. Next question. Okay, he's got the next question. Pat, you got any questions? You might as well have a turn if you want. It's up to you.
No, not really. It was the overriding thing that I hear from others is the same thing that I have difficulty with, and what you just referred to, the right and the left side of the brain. It's easy for me to intellectualize everything, but it's that embodiment and that trust and that release and letting go of that to be able to initiate my intuitive side is the most difficult disconnect that I personally have.
Yeah, there's a limitation. Have you got the book?
No, I do not.
I don't have the book. Okay. So on the training, we hold space so you become it. So that makes the left to the right brain shift that you're asking me about. And it's about, you're invited just to let go of everything and surrender to the frequency transmission of the training. So you become it, and it embodies, and you realize after 3 days, the fourth day, start giving amazing readings, you realize, I've become it. Don't know how that happened, left brain says, but I realize that it's coming out of my mouth. Okay, so it's nothing to do with an analytical left brain process at all. It's a complete DNA full body activation. And then you just become it, and then if you practice it, you basically embody it, and it sticks, provided you practice regularly. And then you're just there, and you look at a chart, and it will come to you. Okay. You prepare notes initially when we train people. You talk to them, make key notes and stuff. But after a while, people realize I haven't actually looked at my notes at all. It's just coming out of me. The notes are like training wheels. And after a while, some people say, they just look at the chart and just comes to them. They don't prepare any notes after a while. And just comes quite naturally because you entrain, you align with the system. So it's not something you need to understand, it's something you become. It's a state of being. It's a sacred awakening ritual process when you deliver a reading. Every time. I've done it for 30 odd years, and I've got used to it. But the response is always profound, like Colleen started to cry there, because it's the absolute truth of who she is. And I had the privilege of sharing that with her. So her life's probably going to change a lot after that. That's the best thing about this, watching people transform into their best selves. Because her soul brought herself here for a reason, because it was time. And you can't find this work unless you're ready, because it would go over your head completely if you weren't ready. On Amazon, I get either 4 or 5 stars or 1 or 2 stars. And the guys who give 1 or 2 stars, they say, this is confusing, this makes no sense, because they're not ready. They're not conscious enough to feel the transmission. And those who give 4 or 5 stars say, this is the best self-help book I've ever read, full stop. You must read this. It's like that, because they were ready to hear the truth. And there's not much in the middle. It's very polarized. So those who are not ready don't access it. Those who are completely jump in, boots and all, because it's like, I found the Holy Grail. This is how my life works. Let's go. It's one or the other, the reaction. So, yeah, it's very extreme sometimes, the reaction. Okay, the way the stuff works. So understanding it, it's not about understanding it at all. It's about becoming. Yeah, and we as men like to understand everything.
Correct.
So it's tricky.
Right, beautiful. And yeah, the 2 words that came up that align is release and trust. It's huge to be able to embody and step into it. Beautiful. Thanks.
Beata.
Because as you were talking, a question came up. Because if we look at it, that our chart has a certain mission, and we have certain vibrations that as we transmute, as we work through them, they become our gifts, service to others.
Yeah.
Would you say, or from your experience, that you would initially attract to yourself, if you're a person who does the reading, those who are more or less aligned with your vibration experiences, your chart?
Yes, your ideal client is you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because people are unconsciously attracted to you as a practitioner because you've been through what they're going through, and they want that from you.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know they're doing that, but that's like attracts like.
So it's almost like you would be speaking about your own life.
Well, no. You'd be using your life experience, okay, plus the system to help them go through the same challenge, because you've had a direct experience of it. You don't talk about your own life experience much.
No,
but
okay.
They know at some unconscious level that you know how to help them. That's why they come.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that means that all you guys who have slogged through all this hard karmic stuff, if you learn how to do this, that's why you're here. You're going to help a lot of people with the same issue.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because you're an expert. See, because you've lived it. There's nothing like real experience. It's not a theory. You've lived through it.
Mm-hmm.
If we have a lot of pearls of wisdom to share with the people.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Next question. Who's got another question? Donna.
So question, this is a contract, and there's many agreements within the contract with others.
Yeah.
Can these agreements be broken? Can a contract be broken?
We set in place pre-incarnational agreements to create certain karmic experiences to learn from. Okay. And that person will go away from your life or change only once you work through that. Okay. Doesn't mean it's going to be pleasant. It's going to be often very challenging. So that's sort of hardwired, really. Because if you try and avoid a situation, someone else will turn up and rearrange within the same program. So you have the lesson. Like you have 3 boyfriends or husbands who behave the same to you, stood in your power, then the 4th husband treated you with respect, for example. So there's no escaping it. It's what was meant to happen. Okay. No matter how challenging it is. Only if you work through enough issues with someone can you actually break the contract. There are very advanced processes we have for breaking the contract with someone, but it only works if you've learned the lesson. Okay. And only because if you haven't got through the lesson, someone else will come along and will do exactly the same thing until you've got it. So there's no collect $200 and pass go, Donna. It's not as easy as that down here.
So is it all about what you're going to experience, or is it you were the agreement with somebody else on the other end where they, as you observe, others in your life and they go through different things and you're seeing them go through this cycle over and over again, but they're still connected to you. Is it something that we're both not learning?
There's an equal exchange of energy in a karmic interaction. They get certain things they need and you get certain things you need at a soul level. So it's not a one-way trip. Okay. And so we're magnetized to certain people because that's a pre-incarnational agreement. There are energetic cords which trigger when you meet them. It pulls you together. Often there are multiple different ways you can meet to make sure you have that lesson that you contracted to have. And the main thing is just to engage with it as best you can with as much consciousness and work through the issues as quickly as possible. And once you do that, then it will go away. Avoiding it just means it's going to get stronger until you got the message. You've got the lesson.
So in essence, is there the possibility of breaking those energetic cords?
Only if you've learnt the lesson. Otherwise, you break it. If you try and get rid of one person, another person will turn up because the program is still active in you. It's still attracting. There's a cord attracting you, that particular issue. It won't go away until you've learnt the lesson. So, but there's no way out, basically, I'm saying that, because that's what you came for. Okay.
I appreciate you sharing your perspective, because, different energy healing modalities, some may differ in that perspective. So I was curious as to what your belief system was.
If you have learnt enough from the lesson, then you can break the cords and detach. Okay, but if you haven't learnt enough of it, you can break the cord with one person, another one will turn up. A few months later, will do the same thing.
Well, makes sense.
You might as well get on with it with that person because it's better the devil you know than the devil you don't, as they say. Okay.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Kathy?
For the class, will there be a recording available afterwards? The reason I ask is I try not to write notes. I want to pay attention and then I'll listen to the replay and that's when I do my notes.
Yeah, we video the entire class and it's available on Vimeo, password protected. It's
Okay.
only for the class, it's not made into a product because it's very personal what we cover.
Okay.
So yeah, it's completely
All right,
video.
great. Thank
So most of the guys go through it multiple times because there's so much material and they hear a completely different class each time.
you. Okay,
Because we go deeper in the way it works.
perfect. That fits.
Okay. Right. Yeah, Nancy, you had a whole bunch of questions, so fire away.
Okay, well, I'm waiting for everybody else to have
Excellent.
their questions answered. Absolutely. So you mentioned that the meaning of the contract is something you feel, something you channel. And when you read the meaning of the contract from the book, it's very general terms and very vague terms. And sometimes, hard to understand. You get the feeling that there's a mission, but you don't get the details behind a little bit more, what am I supposed to be doing with this group of small people? So when you do it more from the channel, the transmissions, are you getting more specifics behind like the destiny and the goals to tailor it really to the person so they have a more tangible mission?
Yeah. So when you deliver a reading, have you been delivering readings from the book or just reading the book?
I've been delivering readings from the book.
Okay. So what happens is that we teach you in the training, we activate you, and we teach you how to use the structure of the interpretations as shown in the book as a framework only. Then we teach you how to engage. It's a completely another level to what you've been doing with the book. We teach you how to engage with someone with exactly where they are in your life. And we ask open questions to get into the connection with their subjective reality and what's in the chart interpretations. So we have a conversation and we flow through from physical karma all the way to soul destiny over an hour. We have a conversation and we teach you how to prepare notes, which is a subset of what's in the interpretations. Okay, but basically there's a whole guidance team that's with you. And what they do is they feed specific things, and that dialogue will be exactly what. It's not a data dump. It's a two-way dialogue of putting into context someone's subjective life experience, so you can get a lot more precise in that process. And the reason you can't be more specific in the way the interpretations are written, because there's free will choice. Out of all the different parts of an interpretation, someone will choose a subset of that to actually live their life through, and you won't find out what that is until you talk to them, until you engage with them. Okay, and only then, once they give you the context of their life story, then you get more specific on what is probably going to happen here. So it comes out, the true reading is out of the dialogue, the conversation. It's not out of the interpretations alone. Okay, you can't look at them beforehand and say this is what they're here to do. You got to have the conversation, get the context. Okay. And so you take them from, we teach you how to take them from where they are to where they want to go to. Okay. So it's more a channeled, intuitive connection. It's a conversation between two higher selves, where their higher self is telling your higher self and downloading into you what that person at a personality level needs to hear. And it will be pretty profound. That's what we teach you how to do in the training. So it's far beyond the data in the book. What we teach you how to do.
Yeah.
Far beyond.
Absolutely. That's what I was wondering, because one of the other services that you offer is connecting to one's higher self. So I was wondering if the higher self is involved in these sorts of interpretations of the soul contract, because the higher self would know the soul contract.
Higher consciousness is talking all the time. We connect you to that. We're teaching you how to channel and intuit to say precisely what that person needs in that moment for their optimal growth. That's what we're actually teaching you. So it's not just a bunch of data. It's a whole process of awakening and transmission and initiation that you learn to do.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Right. There's only so much you can put into a book, you see. So, all right. Okay. All right. Let's just take a look. Well, we're nearly out of time. One final question before I go to the next stage of this, finish off. Anyone got any other burning questions? No? Okay. I will proceed with I'll move on to what else I wanted to say here. Okay. All right. So if you're interested in coming on, learning how to do this, taking it far beyond the book, following on what I was just saying there, If you're some sort of facilitator, healer, workshop, you run workshops or trainings. In summary, it gives you a profound understanding of your clients or students. And you can take all your existing healing modalities or coaching modalities and focus them in a very laser-like way and accurately guide your clients through all the work you do with you. So basically, the soul contract acts as a really powerful framework of truth. And you can find out where someone is on their spiritual map of life and build all your other tools around that. So they're going to get there a lot quicker. Because it builds enormous trust, because the client knows it's true, and you know it's true. It dissolves a lot of ego resistance. So they're going to get faster results, okay, if you're a therapist. And they're going to be a lot happier with that as well, obviously, because we're getting on with it. That's what it can actually do. Well, we talked about this in terms of learning how to we practice delivering readings in the training. You do two practices in the training. So you understand yourself and everyone else around you at a very deep level and get a clear understanding of the 22 Hebrew letters we use. Okay. So it's experiential learning, which I've explained, bodily transmission, plus we have ongoing professional support. We have a peer-to-peer Facebook group, a couple of hundred practitioners. That's 200 or 300 now, where you can ask all your questions and they will answer them. These are experienced ones. We have a support program as well, which we're looking at revising. So you can come on the paid support programs are optional to help you get up and running. Okay, if you decide to engage with us. Yeah. So the things that your clients will get from this is a deep feeling of peace because they've found the truth at last, relief that they see there's an order to their life, and it empowers people to move forward because they can take charge of their life because they can see there's an order to this, be able to show me where I am and how to move forward. So it changes lives radically for the better, this work. Okay. So you're showing them where they are in their spiritual map of life, how to align to their soul purpose. It touches people very deeply because finally the truth has come out. And you open to a deeper level of yourself and compassion for people, especially given how challenging life can be down here. All right. So the aim, you'll be practicing giving readings in the training. You'll be able to deliver reasonably good readings afterwards, as long as you practice, okay? So you can make a difference in the world, okay? So if you're interested in coming, we run it twice a year, or actually 3 times a year at the moment. But in the Western Hemisphere, we run it from 17th, 2 weekends, 17th and 19th of March, 25th and 26th. Okay, it's only 1 day off work. This is because all the California mums said to me, can you split it over 2 weekends and I can come. So it runs 12:30 to 8:30 p.m. UK, 7:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 to 12:30, 4:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Pacific. People used to fly to England for it, but most people don't mind getting up early simply because they don't have to fly. And if you want to find out more, go to soulcontractreadingtraining.com. The full exchange is £718 or about $835, and you can secure a place with a deposit for £277 or $322 approximately. So this is designed for the Western Hemisphere from California out to Poland. But if you guys, anyone's watching from Asia, we have an Asian special. And this runs on the 10th to the 14th of March. It starts at 6 a.m. in the UK. So if you're in Australia, for example, it runs 3 to 11 p.m. New Zealand 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. So normally these guys you guys would have to stay up all night, but we've made this offering because enough. By the time the third Australian said to me, "Can you make it earlier?" I said, "Okay." I said 3 to 11 p.m. and everyone said, "This is fine. We can do that." And it covers everything from the Middle East, Southeast Asia, all the way to Australia and New Zealand. Same price. That runs in March. So that won't work for you guys in North America because this is the middle of the night. So we offer this because people were quite keen to come on the training, but they couldn't handle the all-nighters. So Okay. Any last questions, people, before we finish? Everyone okay? Nancy?
No, thank you very much.
Yeah, it helped. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Could I just have one? It's a quite simple one. It doesn't require lots
Yeah.
of explanation.
Okay.
Would you say you wouldn't, for the clients, you don't need to ask them at what sort of vocabulary could they understand from the reading? Because some people may be finding it very fresh or new way of explaining things, like using certain vocabulary. Do you find that you need to ask them if they have an understanding of higher self, an understanding of this or the other, or not?
If someone gets to you at this stage, it's not a problem. You can speak in the spiritual language, because if they are not able to handle that, then they wouldn't have come in the first place.
Okay.
So it's
All
not a
right.
problem. Okay. It's
Okay,
not a problem
thank you.
at all. Okay, so Montserrat, here's the link. I'll put it in the chat so you can get name assistance for the Catalan. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So if there's no further questions, we'll finish now, and we'll get the video out to you in a few days. Thanks for complete engagement, guys. Appreciate the questions. All right. So take care. If you have any other questions, just email me. You've got my email address. Okay. So thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate you.
Okay. Take care. Bye.